This video is about how to gear up for WoW PvP really fast in patch 10.1 right now, using a devious, brilliant, sneaky, secret strategy. And I do mean right now. You see, if you watched other guides on YouTube, they tend to talk about gearing up with the new Honor and Conquest gear, but if you actually go to the Honor and Conquest vendors, you'll see the new gear isn't available till the start of the season next week. But strangely, some new gear is available, though it's probably not what you were thinking of. See Militia here. She now sells gear which scales up to eye level 434 in PvP. That's right, that's higher than Conquest gear currently. Now, there's several ways to get this gear. First, depending on what world quests are up that day, you may get 434 gear from world quests. The other ways all depend on acquiring bloody tokens, the main currency used to buy this type of gear. I'm just going to quickly get the blindingly obvious ways to acquire bloody tokens out of the way before we get to the interesting stuff. An obvious way to do this is to pick up the war supply chest drops, which occur periodically across the Dragon Isles, though your faction will need to be dominant to ensure you can capture these. You can often get over 200 bloody tokens, that's enough for one of the lesser PvP items from these chests. The second way is to simply do world quests, which award bloody coins as a currency. The third way, and this is the real meat of the video here, is a secret strategy I use to do world PvP. Now, this is amazingly easy to do and very poorly understood. Here's exactly how I do world PvP and get tokens faster than the best players in the world. 1. Find a place where a ton of people are fighting, like the Chittering Caverns here. Players will usually gather wherever a PvP world quest is up. 2. Use a reticle ability. That's any ability where you place a large occult looking green circle on the ground which does damage. I'm using the Hunter's Volley here. Mage Flame Strike or Paladin Consecration, for example, would also work very well. Target as many players as possible. 3. Run away very fast. If you can, stealth and or drop combat with something like Feign Death, but mostly people will just ignore you even if you don't bother with that. If possible, you should be going somewhere where you are out of line of sight of the main fracas. 4. You'll find that any time one of the players you targeted dies, you receive kill credit and 1 bloody token. This is an extremely efficient way to get bloody tokens, much faster than actually doing proper PvP. I call this strategy the British Empire method, as it involves taking cynical advantage of people killing each other, cowardice and greed. Why do I call this a secret strategy? Because by definition, if other players understood it, they wouldn't be fighting each other so much and it wouldn't be possible to carry off. Now, eventually you'll tag so many players you'll automatically trigger the PvP Assassin quest.
One of you should teach this killer a lesson.
This is a very bad thing because you will suddenly be highlighted on the map for every nearby player to see and they'll all stop fighting and descend on you at once. So it is a good idea at this point to log out, which clears the assassin effect and stops you being highlighted. It is also worth adding that if someone individually targets you, most of the PvP locations in Warcraft are quite high up and you can usually jump off the edge of the area into water, or failing that you can use a movement ability just before you hit the ground. I'm using disengage here and land safely. This strategy works for me very well during peak hours. It will be difficult to find this many players off peak, but by then you should have a sizable gear advantage over 99% of players, so you can just run around killing them quite efficiently in the normal fashion after grinding away for a few hours using the hit and run method. Essentially, you just put together a cast sequence macro of your main offensive abilities and target players with 50 to 100k less health than you, and you should be able to kill them in seconds. It is a bit sadistic, but remember all these players have war mode turned on and can opt out. That said, try not to kill the same person more than a couple of times if they're just doing a quest or something. It's just manners. So if you follow the advice in this guide, you should have a huge advantage over other players in the short term and a compounding advantage in subsequent weeks of the expansion, as you'll be ahead of the gear curve. Nothing in this video is an exploit or breaches Blizzard's terms and conditions in any way. This is just creative use of game mechanics. You won't get banned for this. It is worth adding there are some insanely powerful PvP strategies on my Patreon for multiple classes.